With Premium Access, members can also pull up the bidding documents, not only through these links right here, but also through the details page of a project. So I can click this expandable link or on the title of it, pull up the details, and access the specifications that way. Back at the filter page, I can get to that same exact page that I was just at by clicking on specs right here. And again, there's the table of contents for this project. Okay. When we're at the specifications listing page, we've got these check boxes here that are going to allow us to do a few things. In addition to simply just pulling up the spec section that we select here, we can use those check boxes to download specific portions of this spec book. So I can either select all, I can select an entire division, or I can select portions of a division. And once I've done that, I can use this PDF icon right here, this orange one, and when I click on that, it's going to prompt a automatic download to a zip file. So now I've got a zip file downloaded to my computer with those two spec sections as separate PDF files for me to extract and look at later. So I've got those saved directly to my computer. The second option, I've still got these two spec sections selected, is this red piece of paper. When I click on that, you'll notice now my window is a PDF document. And what it's done is combine those sections that I've selected into one file. From here I can either download or print. So then the difference between the two icons that we were looking at there is this one's going to put them in a file as single files to extract from your computer, while the red one's going to combine those for you in one PDF file for you to scroll through and then save or print from there. If a member wants to pull up an addenda for a project, we would go ahead and click on addenda either from the details page here or back at a filter results page. There's that link to the addenda. From here, we can click on an actual addenda, pull it up, and there's the narrative for addenda 2 for this particular project. These different categories that we have, if there's a document that comes in where the architect or engineer calls it a memo, we'll put it under the memos, amendments, and addenda. So we do make sure that it's applied to the direct category of which it was sent to us in. In addition to clicking on these links here to pull up the addenda, I want to call out the text here that we see. This received date is our way of telling you that that's when we received the addenda. One thing we take great pride in here at the Builders Exchange is our members knowing that when we receive a document, we put it on the website promptly. We're not going to wait a few days to put it on the website. We keep on top of information as it's supplied to us. Another notation that you're going to see here that's very important, that's going to lead us to where we want to go next, is with plans. So that's literally telling us that this 8.5 by 11 narrative, which is the addenda, had plans that came with it. So that's going to lead us up to where the plans are. And if we scroll down, you'll notice as we scroll down through this sheet, all of the drawing sheets are broken down by the type of drawing sheet that they fall into. And at the bottom of the list, here are the sheets that go with the addenda, number 1 for this project. So it's a nice way for you to quickly go to the addenda sheets for an addenda without having to look through the entire list of drawing sheets. In looking at plans on our website, there's a lot of different options that the premium user has in both downloading and viewing these documents. First thing that we want to point out is, just like the specifications, we have these select tools right here. So the option to select all, select a category of drawing sheets, or select particular drawing sheets. And once we've done that, here's that orange PDF icon. Click on that. There's that zip file. Just like with the specs, I get a file that I can extract with the drawing sheets I've selected as individual PDF files. Back at the website, if I click on this TIFF icon right here, right underneath it, same thing has happened, only now I have a file that I can extract with separate TIFF files in them. It really just depends. Some of our members have specific programs that they upload these documents into, so giving them that option is a nice thing for them. This piece of paper has now combined those two drawing sheets for me into one sheet that I can print and download directly from the website. So those would be the options in pulling up the drawing sheets. This blue settings tool is going to allow you to tell the website and customize the tools we're seeing here. And these are the viewing programs that we're going to talk about now. So if you wanted to narrow down what you see here and tell the website to only show you this tool function, you can do that there. So over here we've got, next to each drawing title, these 3 links. Each link is going to open up that single drawing sheet directly from the website. No install necessary on any of these. First we've got the TIFF, And what that's going to do is pull up that drawing sheet in my default photo viewer or picture viewer in a TIFF format. Again, from here I can print or save it. Most of the saving, however, is going to be done through these tool options right here. Next, if I click on the PDF icon next to a drawing title, same thing, only I've got the document in a new browser tab in PDF format for myself. Last, we've got this red toolbox icon, and what this is a program that's going to allow you to set your scale and do measurements directly from the computer screen. What's nice about this program is it does not require any install. So once you click on one of those red toolbox icons from the website, it's automatically going to pull up that drawing sheet on your computer screen in a new tab. So what we've got here is a program that allows us to do many different things with the drawing sheets once we have them up. First thing we can do is we can navigate through the drawing sheets either forward or backwards. We can rotate the drawing sheets, which I'm not going to do because I don't need to, but however you can rotate them in either clockwise or counterclockwise directions. If I'm on a drawing sheet and I want to pull up another drawing sheet and don't want to have to go back to the listing of drawings as they are on our website, I can go through and select a specific drawing sheet and have that reference on screen for you. And if you notice that drawing sheet that I selected here, I'm looking at the finish plan. So maybe I want to go through and pull up the specifications that correlate with finish plans, whether it be painting or carpeting. Right here is literally the listing of specifications for this particular project. I can click on painting, and in a second tab that pulls up, I've now got the painting section. So I can go back and forth between the drawing sheet that I need to see and the spec section that I need to reference that correlates with it. Next, we've got the zoom in and zoom out tools. And then I can also, once I've zoomed in, move my drawing sheet around with this cursor tool right here. So now we're going to go ahead and actually set a scale and do some measurements on this drawing sheet. So I'm going to fit to page, so I get my full drawing sheet in front of me, and I'm going to select this specific cursor zoom tool. What that's going to allow me to do is select an area to zoom in on so I can see my scale. There's my scale, 1/16 of an inch equals a foot. Go back out to my full page, and I'm going to make some measurements. But before I do that, once I click on this rectangular or any one of these estimating tools in here, I've got this estimating and markup window that shows up, and here's the scale. So I'm going to set my scale, zoom in, and start measuring. I'm going to use this rectangle tool and measure this office. And I'm going to click it again because I want to measure this second office. So now I've got the square footage, the area of each of these two offices. I can't really tell them apart on the drawing sheet other than they're different sizes, and I can't tell them apart here unless I know which one was rectangle, whichever it's called, in the item field. So I can go ahead and type in office 131D here and office 131A. And I can also, from the color spectrum, choose any color under the sun that I want to. Select choose, and now you'll see that it's changed the color of my office, so I can tell those two rooms apart, and I know both their area and perimeter. In addition to drawing rectangles, you can draw other shapes like a ellipsis or a circle. Again, there's your square footage, and from there we can also do a count. So let's say in this media center we want to count the windows. I've selected one of those options there. And before I move anywhere else on the drawing sheet, I want to click out of that count tool, and I want to show you how you can do another count using a different object. So last time I counted my door or my windows with the square, maybe this time I want to count my doors with the diamond. I can go ahead and do that. And to exit out of that count tool, again clicking on to one of the other tools within the estimating is going to shut off that count. And from here I remember counting for windows, so I can type in windows there, and I can type in doors right here. Another useful tool would be this measure a straight line. What that's going to allow me to do is measure a straight line in linear feet. So perhaps I want to know the length of this countertop. I'm going to click, drag, release, and once I do that, you'll see on my estimating and markup tab, there's the countertop. Another tool, Open path tool. So let's say you're a cabling guy and you want to know how long a cable you're going to have to run through the media center. I'm just dragging, clicking, clicking, and then I double click to release. And you'll see now there's the linear feet of that cabling line. If you've drawn anything on the drawing sheets that you want to delete, all you've got to do is simply click one of the deletes. So maybe I want to get rid of the circle. I can go ahead and do that, tell it OK, and now that circle is removed from my drawing sheet. Next thing that we can do is once we've got all these markups, there's this Excel export button. If you click that, it's going to automatically download, as you see right there, if I open that up, is an Excel spreadsheet of the markups that I've done on this drawing sheet. Alright, so you've made your markups. I'm just going to make that window a little bit smaller. Now that I've made my markups, there are a few things that I can do with these drawing sheets. I can save them to the cloud, meaning save them to the Builders Exchange server. And when I do that, in the future, from this computer, if I'm at this project bidding documents and I go to the plans, I can click on that and load any previous drawing sheets that I've pulled up and made markups on via the website. These tools right here are the download options. The difference between the two is this single file is going to download this one drawing sheet in a PDF file in a new tab with my markups on it. So I've got one sheet with my markups. This file image right here is going to allow me to do a batch download. However, the difference between the two, when I do that batch download, it's not going to keep my estimating and markup tabs in the sheet when I open that up. So you can see now that with this second way of saving the drawing sheet, there are no markups there. So if you want to save your drawing sheet with markups, you're going to use this tool and it's going to save it as a single file. Or if you don't care about having your markups on the drawing sheet or just want to download drawings directly from the program without markups, you would use this button right there. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this tutorial video. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or visit mbex.org/tutorial for a printable version of this tutorial. MBEX would like to thank the sponsors of this video: the Builders Group, Johnson, Adolphson Peterson Construction, Market & Johnson, Scaffold Service, Sheet Metal Connectors.